Okay, so I was just going to show you this really quick. I used to do a lot of Bible journaling, and then I found junk journaling and just completely stopped doing the Bible journaling. But I had this piece of art that's in the back of my mind where I took an apple shape and outlined it and put the sin in the middle. And I really like this concept. And so I think I will probably reuse it, but I was just going to show you, you know, there's a lot with Adam and Eve. There's the garden, you know, and how they fall into sin. So, I mean, probably a great time for you to sit down and read Genesis again, you know, about Adam and Eve and all that. And I mean, you know, kind of a bummer of a story, but, you know, it is what it is. So this is the beginning. And so, I think we might as well go on with it. And so, you know, read it again, picture it in your mind, like what part of it stands out to you. And I'm going to get my board ready and we'll get going on this. Okay, so here's my sheet, and just here's kind of a little info. I'm going to try and give you a piece of the Bible on each one that you can tear up and glue. I don't feel good about tearing a Bible up. That's just me, you know. But I have a family Bible that's like from the 1850s, and I'm going to scan in the chunk of scripture that goes with that letter, I think. And so we can tear it up and glue it in and use it. I don't know why that makes me feel better, but it does. So anyway, I think I'm going to continue this idea of 2 pages just because there's ink left over. And, you know, I mentioned before that I'm cheap. And so it just seemed to work out to have one to kind of drip onto. And so I'm going to do a little one and a big one, and you guys can do whatever you want. Okay, so we have 2 prompts we're going to draw, and yours will be different than mine. So I'm just going to take this one. It says stamp a word or phrase. Okay, so I'll do that. And then the second one, okay, and the second one is use distress ink. So these are pretty easy. I think those are pretty easy ones to do. So I'm going to keep them both. And so I'll just have to make sure I do this along the way. All right, so I'm going to cut these up and then I'll be right back. Thought I had the camera rolling, but I didn't. So I stamped the fall on some cloth for the prompt. It actually, I think, just said use stamps to make a phrase. But I went ahead and put it on the cloth on that. I did Adam and Eve a couple of times just in case I really screwed it up. But I kind of like it uneven, so this will work. I'll probably tear them apart. And so there's that prompt that I've worked on. So I'm going to put this away and we will go on. So this is pretty much dry. And so I'm going to go ahead and start gluing my paper to the background with my multimedia matte from Ranger. And this is what it looks like. It's like old-time paste jar from when I was a kid. So we'll see how that goes. I have other matte medium ordered that's I think will be easier to use, but I'm going to go ahead and use this. So I'll fast forward this so you don't have to watch every little thing I do, but anyway, here we go. Okay, coming back on here. This is like the next day I've let this all dry. I went to Hobby Lobby today. Here's matte gel. And this is an off-brand, Master's Touch, $19.99, except that it was 50% off, so it's $10 for this. I honestly don't know about this. I'm sure it was $6 or $8 for this little tiny thing. And so this is 16 ounces, and this is 1 ounce. So I'm just letting you know. Make your own decisions. And I haven't used this yet, but I mean, if it works at all, I'm going to try using Crackle Paste. Linda Israel, I asked for advice on how to make it work, and she said just make sure you treat your base first before you use it. So I'm going to take a stencil. Okay, so funny. So I don't know if it's best to do this before, middle, or after. I'm going to try it before. So I'm I have to say in my mind, I'm thinking Adam and Eve, right? And there's, you know, the beginning when God made man and the garden was beautiful. And it's a progression in my mind for some reason going like this, just me. And then the fall. And so I'm thinking, you know, from light to dark and the fall and just some things like that and how I want to lay it out. I don't know that this has anything to do with, I'm really kind of wondering if I wouldn't want to put this on top later, because it's kind of like almost like a boundary or a fence, and you know, the angel basically shuts them out of the garden for their own protection. Maybe I will wait on this. And then I've got this smaller, the smaller one I'm doing. So I tell you what, I've got this stencil. Kind of a crazy one. I think I'm going to go ahead and just because I want to play with this. Oops. Uh-oh. I want to play with this. Crackle. I'm not doing a very good job, am I? I'm going to see if I can get it to, wow. Okay. Go through the stencil. And crackle, because I haven't really been able to get it to work very well. And Linda Israel said the only thing you need to do is make sure that it's treated or sealed, and you know, like with Mod Podge or with your matte medium. And I even wrote that on the lid. I think at some point I had seen somebody say put Elmer's glue on first as a base, so some sort of sealing material first. So that looks really blobby, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it dry and see. Ooh, I got this stuff everywhere. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna smear that on there. So this has to dry to crackle, and so I can't really work on that for right now. So I'm just gonna go set it aside and let it dry. Just real quick. As I go forward, these videos aren't going to be like this, I don't think. I'll just probably do a quick one as far as like speed it up, and you can just see me really quickly do what I do. But for now, I feel like I'm just starting out and using different products. I got some Amsterdam ink at Hobby Lobby too. They've got the little droppers, and I noticed several people were using this brand and this type of ink. So, of course, I had to try it. It's acrylic ink, and it was $6.99. It was not on sale. I should have waited, but it's kind of far from my house, so I thought, oh, well, I'll get a couple. So I've got 2 of those to try, and I got a package of cheap brushes. They were half price, so $9.99, and I got a bunch. I mean, like, okay, it says 20 brushes, 3 palette knives, these plastic kinds, so that'll be nice because I can't ever find mine, and 2 foam wedges and so on and so forth. So anyway, that way I don't feel bad if I ruin a brush or if I stick it in ink and so on. So anyway, that's what I did today. So I'm going to set this aside, and then I'll come back and start with the paint. I'm back. So I had to let this dry overnight. So this is really different than the junk journal stuff. The the time to let things dry. No kidding, boy. They were serious when they said that. I used the Crackle Paste, and it did crackle. So it was more of an experiment because I just put a little dab there and a little dab over here. And then I was frustrated because I couldn't do anything. And I kept touching and it kept being wet. So anyway, what I ended up doing was starting 2 more journals. I took an old journal that's just a junk, like it's not heavy paper. It's a journal that's actually telling you how to do lettering. And I just glued paper on top of the pages that were in it. And then I found another sketchbook, and so I started it to be one of these, just because I want to have one I can work on all the time. I don't want to be stuck waiting for stuff to dry. So anyway, I think I might break this into 2 videos because it does, at least so far, until maybe when I get a better grip on this, it won't take me so long. But you know, it's not just you sit down and make your page in one day. I mean, I guess you could, but that's not how it's working out for me. So, all right, enough of that. I'm gonna, and by the way, I use this matte gel, this Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby that I got for half price, and it seems to have worked great. And it is matte, so you can see it better, hopefully. So I am going to do the paint, start working with some paint. And I also told you, I already had an idea that I showed you from my Bible journaling. And it was the apple where I drew a shape of an apple, and I'm gonna redo that on the small one here. Might as well get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is take this apple that I put in the kit and draw around it for the apple shape. And then I'll show you. I'll just fast forward through it. So, okay, so the prompt, one of the prompts I had was to use Distress Ink. So I need to use it on the big one too, but on this one, I'm going to go ahead and ink. And I think I'm going to cut this apart. Maybe trim it down so I have as little white space as possible. I'm not quite ready to glue these on yet. I just wanted to look at them. And I'm going to put this Adam and Eve on here, on the smaller one. So, I guess I'll go ahead and ink it. It's over here to the side. And then go back. I need to put some paint on this one. I'm going to try this olive green acrylic ink. You know, I said I don't want every color of the rainbow on these, but this one's got quite a few colors. I keep thinking of the garden, you know, and that makes me think of green. And, ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? And the apple makes me think of red. So I may or may not be getting a lot of color on this one. And then, of course, I feel like black and white because you go from perfection to destruction. And so I feel like black and white are necessary. That's just me, though. You guys do what you want to do. Or do what I'm doing. Either one. Whatever makes you happy. All right, so I'm going to put some black on this one as well, down here in the corner. I feel like it starts up here and ends down here for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going to put some black. Spray that. Little Dollar Tree spray bottle. Let's get working here. Ooh. Okay, so that's going where I want it to go, but it's, and I guess I could do the white up here at the same time. I don't know that the white's necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just to see. Ooh, I think that needed to be stirred up. I'm gonna blot that off of that sin. I don't want to completely obliterate that. In my artwork, at least. And that crackle, that little test I did, you can see the little crackles showing up a little bit. I'm going to come back here in a little bit and do a bigger intentional piece of that. Now, I almost have lost my apple shape on there. So I may have to go back and retouch that up because I want to make sure it's clear what's going on there. So I'll let that dry. Okay, so this one I didn't do the white. So I'm going to do that. Let me shake it up this time. Blot my birds out. All right, so I'll let those dry. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to keep in mind like what should go where, and I want to be sure I get my artwork that I had, you know, the Etsy artwork. I want to get that on there. And then I want to layer some of the compound through a stencil. And I kind of want it to overlap. And let's see, what else did we have? I think, hope I'm not making a mistake. This kind of made me laugh because it's like, you know, he's like, this woman you gave me. This goes down here. This sort of goes wherever. And, you know, from a layout standpoint, you don't want everything all in one spot. This is a pretty big piece too. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, for better or for worse, we're just gonna do this, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. If mine doesn't go right, then you can not do what I did. And oh, let's see, I also was gonna tear the edges so they're just not so perfect. So I'm gonna use my matte gel. So, and I don't know if you noticed, but I put my prompts on here too, because I thought that'd be kind of fun to keep those within the picture so I know what I did. Consider dating it. I know we're starting in January, so it won't be that big of a deal to, you'll remember for sure. And if we do it every week, we'll know basically what the date is, but it might be fun to just have it on there. So maybe I will do what I'm telling you to do, which is today. What is today? All right. Okay, so I've got that on there. You can see where there's some little pieces sticking up right there. Put some more glue there. Oh, you know what else I was supposed to put on was the fall, and I stamped it. I'm supposed to have stamped the fall. I'm going to try it. I don't know how this works with cloth, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. Ooh, my ink is running. I don't have the archival ink, so I need to be careful. Looks like one fell swoop is all I'm going to get. Probably should have made it go down since it's the fall, right? Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Hopefully that seals it. So there's my two prompts. Oh, no, my A. I got to get the A on there. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to save the A till the very end. And, oh, here's two more things. Huh. I'm going to save the A till the very end and put it on without any, I don't want anything to obscure it. I'm going to let it be really clear. I may not do that on every letter, but I'm going to do it on this one. Okay, so these, what have I got? I've got Adam and Eve. And I think I can go ahead actually and put those on. So my A will go here. So maybe I will put Adam and Eve underneath that. Adam and Eve. And then I have this scripture that I think I'm going to just sort of incorporate. And if it gets obliterated, it's not really that big of a deal. But I think it will show. And it's talking about how he formed them. So I think I'll put that up here at the top. And then I'll put this on last. And might as well go ahead and use my Distress ink. So that fulfills the prompt in that way. So that will be my last thing I glue on. Hopefully I remember to glue it on. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one aside, bring back the small one, glue the fall onto here. And Adam and Eve, I stamped on here. I'm gonna try this Liquitex Aqua Turquoise, sorry. So I kind of wanted to have white up there, but I also needed color, so all right, so I think I'll let that dry. I'm going to try the Crackle Paste. I'm not gonna be happy unless I actually finally do this. So I have this stencil I've never used before. I'm gonna use this Crackle Paste through it. Hopefully it works. This stuff just kind of pulls right back off of, it's really weird. It's like marshmallow fluff. And I want it to only be where the stencil is. So we'll see. Okay, so see, it's very temperamental. It does what it wants, apparently. So I'm gonna put it in two places. Yeah, it only goes where it wants to. And so I'm gonna let that dry, so that's gonna probably take till tomorrow. I also wanna I'm gonna use some stencil butter, which is much better behaved. And I've got some, of course, my favorite color. This is TCW, which is the Crafter's Workshop. Use my new plastic palette knife, and I've got these flowers. And so I'm going to put on a flower, I think, up here. Yeah, I love this stuff. I think I'll use a different flower down here. Okay, so I'm gonna let all these dry. I think I'm just gonna use, or I'm sorry, modeling paste on the small one because I don't know about this crackle. So the modeling paste is better behaved. Let's see, the fall is gonna go here. So I might as well, I think I can put that on. I was waiting for it to dry. Ooh, that's really, and I do want to use, I'm going to put a flower on this one too, just because I love this chartreuse stuff so much. Here, I think. And I'm just going to run it off the edge. Ooh. Didn't really mean to run it off the edge quite like that, but, and I feel like it needs, if you're going to do one, you got to have at least one more. 3 is really good, but I'm going to do a little bit up here. Oh, there's sort of 3. Okay. All right, and then again, because I don't like to waste, especially this butter. Okay, and then I'll wash this. Okay, so I will be back I may stop this and do a part 1 and part 2. I'm not sure exactly where, but we'll see. This might be the end of this one. If it is, thanks for watching the video. Come back and watch the finish, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.